So CNN CEO Chris Licht out after just 1 year on the job. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Chris Licht, the now former CNN CEO, out after just 1 year, 13 months to be exact, on the job. Now, if you remember, he replaced Jeff Zucker after he was kicked out of the network. I'm not sure if he was fired, if he resigned, or whatever it is. Doesn't really matter. Jeff Zucker was out. Then they brought on Chris Licht. I think he came from NBC or some other television network. And the objective, from what I read, was to bring CNN more toward center right, to not be so much talking about Trump, bashing Trump all the time. They were trying to be a little bit more of a normal network and not just be so much caught up in what Trump is doing every single day. That was the vision. Now, maybe this vision was not shared by a lot of the employees, a lot of the high-ranking people over at CNN. I'm not really sure. There was an article produced by The Atlantic talking about the meltdown over at CNN under Chris Licht, and he reportedly apologized to his staff, talking about, I know we're going through a tough time right now, all this and that and the third. That all came to a head. He is out after just 13 months on the job, and he'll be replaced with Amy Antilles, who was a Jeff Zucker acolyte. So we're kind of going backward to the Jeff Zucker regime without Jeff Zucker. Now, there's a lot I want to get through, but I think we should just go to a video here. This is from Fox. They're going to give you a little bit more insight. If you want to see this clip in full, the link, as always, will be in the description. If you're on IG, visit the link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Well, this just in, breaking moments ago, CEO Chris Licht out at CNN. His departure coming on the heels of a magazine profile that certainly angered staffers. He had lost the trust of the employees there. Fox News contributor Joe Concha is here. This was pretty stunning. He's only been there about a year. You followed this story pretty closely, including the recent profile that ran of him by Tim Alberto over the weekend. That didn't do Licht any favors?
None whatsoever, Dana. You don't allow, or if you're a network president, at least if I were a network president, I wouldn't allow a reporter to follow me around for a year, including going to my workouts in the morning and just witnessing what I'm doing around the office, and then expect that the profile is going to be more positive than negative, particularly.
What in the world? Why would he do that? Why would, is he some kind of celebrity? Is he trying to be Kanye West? Like, who is this guy trying to be? You trying to get a documentary done about you, Chris Licht? Why would I go to Netflix and say, you know what? I want to watch the Chris Licht documentary. I want to know about his life every day, about going to work over at CNN as a CEO. Most people, if you were to see him on the street, you would have no idea who he is. This guy's a nut.
With all the struggles that Chris Licht has had as CNN president. And you said it exactly. I mean, he started there in April of 2022. So we're talking less than 15 months. He is gone. And I can't recall the last time a network president at this level getting the axe so quickly. And it was an internal coup led by on-air talent, Bill, Dana, at the networks, and is even its own media team that ultimately brought him down. And why? Because many could not accept the fact that Licht was attempting to move the network from being seen by conservatives and many independents as an activist news network, a resistance news network aimed at disparaging through provocative and personal opinion those right or right of center, and thereby destroying the decent credibility it once had. And
he's right on point with that. That was, like I said, that was what I thought the goal was going to be, to shed that image of CNN as being the provocative, anti-conservative, activist, Black Lives Matter, Antifa type place. Because a lot of you guys may be a little bit young, maybe right around my age, but I remember back in the 90s, CNN was a respectable network. But ever since Trump time, 2014, 2015, they've gone way downhill.
And remember, Licht, he had inherited a network that had lost 75% of its audience when you're comparing early 2021 with the spring of 2022 when he came in. And new leadership there gave him marching orders, basically saying, move this network back to the center. The network it was under Bernard Shaw, Aaron Brown, and a guy named Bill Hemmer, right? Less provocative opinion, more solid reporting, more Republicans on the air. But that did not sit well with many at the network. And the dam broke over at that headquarters in Hudson Yards, just south of you, when they had the audacity of hosting roasting Donald Trump, the clear frontrunner for Republican nomination, a former president that received 74 million votes in 2020 for a town hall. And these are the same people internally who had zero problem putting Trump on their air for countless interviews and multiple town halls back in 2016 because he was great for ratings.
But I don't understand, why would that be a problem? Because during that town hall, it was CNN trying to attack Donald Trump the entire time. So why would that be a bad thing? If this guy's so bad and he's so evil and he's so hateful, you bring him on, you attack him the whole time. Isn't that what you want? I don't really get it.
And great for clicks. And now there's this moral outcry over the May 2023 town hall, and that was borderline hilarious to witness. But to your point, it was that Atlantic piece that came out just a few days ago that ultimately brought him down. Bill, Dana.
I was stunned to see anchors from CNN being quoted in the Wall Street Journal yesterday. I mean, that was pretty telling. But I think you're exactly right about the Trump town hall. That was the last straw. No matter how you conduct it, whether you let all the audience members ask the questions or allow your anchor to interject, that did not go well inside the walls of CNN.
No, and you talk about reporters going to the Wall Street Journal and going and disparaging their boss. Anderson Cooper went on the air the day after the Trump town hall, and he told viewers he wouldn't blame them if they never watched the network again. I mean, this is insane stuff. So, look, in the end, Licht was in that Atlantic piece, and let's explain why that was so devastating to him. He was critical of the network's COVID coverage under Jeff Zucker, and basically he accused journalists there of fear-mongering the public to keep ratings up, and he was one.
And he was right about that. He was most certainly right about that. But you got a bunch of branch COVIDians over at a place like CNN who are not going to like that characterization of them. But he was 100% right. Let's back up a little bit to get the full context here.
There of fear-mongering the public to keep ratings up. And he was 100% right about that. But look, I'm not saying that Chris Licht did a good job, right? He's a former morning show producer before he was with Stephen Colbert. And then he creates a morning show at CNN that stars Don Lemon, and he gets fired within 6 months. The show can't even attract 400,000 viewers on average. And it took him a year to find a replacement for the 9 p.m. slot, which is crucial for any cable news network, a year. I mean, so look, he was in over his head. He was a former showrunner for Stephen Colbert. He had no business running an international news network. Yeah. And now he's gone, and who knows what happens with CNN, but they are a rudderless ship right now.
One more point.
You know what? CNN, I think, is finished. I think they're finished. Their only hope of surviving would be to go more toward center-right. They should go where Fox News is trying to go. You see, Fox News is seen as more of a far-right news outlet, and they're trying to go to the center. Henceforth, you know, they fired Tucker Carlson. That was a big albatross. They have people like Caitlyn Jenner, obviously a transgender person. They're trying to lean into the LGBTQ. So they're trying to go more center, maybe even a little bit center left sometimes, but definitely center. So CNN should go to where Fox News is trying to go. But the problem is that their infrastructure is not going to support that. The staff they have, their fan base, whoever's left, you got to just destroy the entire network and try to rebuild. So I think CNN might be kaput. They might be toast. And the only thing you can do is just take some of those assets and rebrand it something else. But trying to build a brand and trust and recognition in the space of cable news is not going to be an easy thing to accomplish. So I think they don't really have anywhere else to go. Let's see what our man says right here to wrap it on up and put the bow clean on it.
On that Trump town hall, I told Dana the next morning, I said, never seen a network disparage its own network more than what they did at the desk when they were done with that event with Trump. So it is what it is. Onward. They've got a different leadership team in there, and we'll see how they do. Now it's their turn at bat, Joe. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Joe.
So there you have it. Again, this will be in the box if you want to check it out for yourself without my commentary. But yeah, shout out to Chris Licht. You did your best. You were a Stephen Colbert showrunner. Having just one show to run on a network is not the equivalent of, like my man said, running an international news outlet. That's not really how that works. So he did not really do a good job. You putting Don Lemon on the morning show for what? Why not just leave him right there on the show he had? You would have done better leaving him right there. Now, obviously, he wasn't the best, but you didn't have anybody replace him for a year. And who's over there at a 9 o'clock slot right now? It's just weird. You're not making the proper decisions. So I think ultimately he probably just didn't do a good job, and that's why he has been fired from the network. Although I think he had the right intentions. Some of the things that people are mad about over at the network are not the reasons why he should have got fired, although he probably should have been fired, if you see what I mean. As I close, I want to say this. He did not do a good job of steering the ship in the proper direction, although that was his intention. But some things that he did, like hosting a Donald Trump town hall, that was a good decision. But the problem is you have the internal battle. See, you kind of playing a weird game here. You're trying to attract people, keep people, build an audience, build respect for the platform. You're trying to keep your employees happy. You're trying to keep executives happy, on-air talent happy. You're trying to keep them satisfied and fulfilled and doing a good job. You're trying to please everybody, your advertisers, people that are watching, the anchors, executives, board of directors. Everybody's got to get pleased, and obviously that didn't happen. So now he's out as CEO. And I think ultimately, if they keep going in the direction of left, we hate Trump, Trump's bad, orange man bad, they're going to fall off. They're going to totally fall off. There's no big corporation backing them as far as I know. I mean, it's not like NBC, okay? You have MSNBC, NBC, big company, or even the CBS. It's not quite like that. They're kind of just out there floating, and they're going to fall. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about Chris Licht being fired from CNN after just about 13 to 14 months? Okay, he was hired in April of 2022 to replace Jeff Zucker, and now he's out. And then a Jeff Zucker acolyte, Amy Antilles, has come in to replace him. Whatever your thoughts on this are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I am not surprised at what's going on here. I think anybody could have seen it coming because it's CNN, not a very good network. Aside from being liberal and, highly, anti-conservative, it's not even the point. It's not even a well-run network. I mean, you can see the talent is not good. The direction is kind of all over the place. Their identity is kind of in flux. It's not a good network. It should just go ahead and fall. That'd just be the best thing to do. They tried to go more center right. That didn't work. So we're going to see what happens in the future here. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.